It was now about the 6th hour, and there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour, while the sun's light failed. It is Tuesday, the 4th day of April, 2023. Clive Walsh here, and it's time for the reading of our devotional thought for today, coming from the book Truth for Life by pastor and author Alistair Begg. Today's devotional thought is entitled, A Total Blackout. And the verses today, Luke chapter 22, verses 44 and 45, which reads, It was now about the 6th hour, and there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour, while the sun's light failed. That's Luke's Gospel chapter 23, verses 44 and 45. Alistair Begg writes, Following Jesus' crucifixion, right around midday, the land was swallowed up in darkness. Imagine how unsettling that must have been. All of a sudden, people suddenly felt vulnerable, more on edge. There may have been some who had been present at the arrest of Jesus and remembered that he had warned, This is your hour and the power of darkness. Luke chapter 22, verse 53. But the majority probably said to one another, I wonder what this darkness is about. I wonder why this is taking place. In one sense, they should have known the answer to that question. Jesus' death occurred during the celebration of Passover in Jerusalem, a celebration that had taken place annually for hundreds of years. During this time, the Jews would recall that the first plague God sent over Egypt before the arrival of the death angel was the death of the firstborn sons, was the darkness over all the land. They would have recalled that after the darkness came death. On that occasion, only those who were protected by the blood of the Passover lamb awaken in the morning to find their firstborn still with them. And now, here in the greatest exodus perceived by that first one, darkness preceded the death of Christ, who was and is the perfect Passover lamb. It is as sin-bearer, as the perfect spotless lamb, that Jesus entered into the presence of the sinless God. What more, he carried with him no substitutionary sacrifice besides himself. Prior to this moment in history, to enter the holy place of God's presence in the Temple of Jerusalem, the high priest had to make a sacrifice for his own sin, then make sacrifice for the sins of those whom he represented. But this high priest entered the heavenly presence of the holy God carrying nothing. Why? Because he himself needed no sacrifice, for he was perfect and sinless, and yet he himself was the sacrifice. Jesus was the Lamb. There was nothing else he could carry, and nothing else he should carry. As Peter explained, he himself bore our sins in his body on the tree. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 24. And so the darkness of God's judgment did not have the last word, but Jesus became sin, incurring the full fury of God's wrath. We can be transferred into God's kingdom, into his marvelous light. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. There is nothing else in all the world that demonstrates how real God's love is for sinners and how real our sin is to God. We might the sun in darkness hide and shut his glories in. When Christ the mighty Maker died for man the creature's sin. What a powerful devotional thought, something to truly contemplate as we approach the resurrection day coming up shortly. Let's contemplate not only that total blackout, but what it represented for each one of us. Well might the sun in darkness hide and shut his glories in, when Christ the mighty Maker died for man the creature's sin. May the Lord bless his word of encouragement to your heart today. And for those of you reading through the scriptures, Leviticus chapter 1, 2, and 3, and Hebrews chapter 6. Clive Walsh here. May the Lord richly bless you and give you a great day.